Well, tonight's nominating contests come at a tense moment for the Democratic Party, with Senator Bernie Sanders seeking to change the rules at the July convention in Milwaukee, and the Democratic National Committee accused of rigging the process against the 78-year-old Democratic socialist. Our next guest has been the center of the dispute. Let's bring in the chairwoman of the Republican National Committee, Ronna McDaniel. Ronna, good to have you back with us.
Great to be with you.
Okay, your name's been in the headlines a lot today because of this exchange involving Donna Brazile right here on Fox. I want to play it and give you a chance to respond.
They don't have a process. They're canceling primaries. They have winner take all. They don't have the kind of democracy that we see on the Democratic side. And for people to use Russian talking points to sow division among Americans, that is stupid. So, Ronna, go to hell.
All right, Ronna, your response.
Well, I mean, it's never fun to have your teenagers come home from school and say, hey, Mom, you're trending on social media because some woman said you should go to heck. But that being said, politics is a contact sport. And, I think Donna was out of line with her response. Of course, we all recognize that the Democrats did put the thumb on the scale for Hillary Clinton in 2016 because of Donna, because of the book that she wrote. She exposed that. This isn't rushing talking points. This is something that the New York Times has said recently as they interviewed 93 superdelegates who said even if Bernie Sanders had the popular vote going into convention, they would not support him. You've seen the Democrats change their debate process to put Bloomberg on the stage. And you've seen a concerted effort by the establishment Democrats to go after Bernie Sanders. And you know who's saying that the most? Bernie Sanders. So I felt very in my lane saying that this is happening. I don't think it's something that we can't discuss. And I think her response was a little out of line and disproportionate to my comments earlier today.
Okay, so let's talk about some results tonight, because so far it has been a better than expected night for the former Vice President Joe Biden, who a lot of folks felt was on the ropes coming out of Iowa and New Hampshire. We thought he'd have a convincing win in South Carolina, where he overwhelmed expectations there. And now it is neck and neck in Texas as we're following this. That's a delegate-rich win for whoever takes it. He's slightly ahead there, where it's still too close for us to call, so we continue to watch that. But what do you make of this idea that, as you know, there's been talk from the Bernie Sanders camp that they felt like they were being disadvantaged at some points? Certainly in 2016, there have been questions from supporters this time around that it looks like the establishment got together. It's what they do if this is what happened. They try to make a decision and back someone. It looks like they may be one step closer to slowing his progress, at least tonight.
Yeah, there's definitely been an effort to try and slow Sanders. You've seen that through some of the Democrat media. You've seen Democrat candidates say we don't want Sanders. And I do think their convention process is flawed. I mean, the Republican delegates are bound to the votes of the states that vote. And Democrats have this thing called the superdelegate, the elite delegate that can come in and put their thumb on the scale if they think the voters across the country got it wrong. And I think that's wrong, and it's the establishment of their party. Now, that's their choice, and that's how their party runs. But that's what hurt Bernie Sanders in 2016. They changed the rules. So in 2020, they come in on the second vote. But I think that's a very real concern that the Sanders camp can have. And that's something I'm saying as an observer, and I think that's something that a lot of pundits are pointing out as well. Biden had a good night tonight, but Sanders had a good night tonight, too. It's a jump ball. You're going to have a long process and a long runway to determining who their nominee is going to be.
Well, and for all the chatter that there's worry about down ballot issues, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has come out and said, listen, we're going to be unified behind whoever wins. She also said this, quote, we have the most dangerous person in the history of our country sitting in the White House. She says they're going to get it together no matter whom the nominee is, and they're going to make sure that President Trump's not reelected.
Well, he is dangerous. He's dangerous to the future of the Democrat Party because he gets to run on 7 million new jobs and wages going up and people off of food stamps and a stronger military. And on issue after issue, this president gets to show a record of accomplishment for the American people. And the Democrats have doubled down on obstruction and resistance and investigations. And so he is dangerous to them and their party because we will keep the Senate and we have the possibility of taking back the House. And I think that's something that's very frightening to Nancy Pelosi.
All right. Ronna, at this point, do you have a preference of whom you'd like the president to face off against?
No, I like this long, drawn-out process, Shannon. I'm loving this. I think it's great. Let it play out. I do think Elizabeth Warren had a terrible showing tonight. To not win your home state, That's embarrassing. And I'll be interested to see the dollar count for Bloomberg's ads versus how many delegates he actually received. But this is great. Let it go. I hope they have a brokered convention, and we'll just keep building our ground game to reelect Donald Trump.
Well, they say they've got the passion. They're ready to take you on. We shall see. Ronna McDaniel, thanks for staying up with us. Good to see you.
Thanks, Shannon.